some models, as you know, claim that people go through various stages, whereas others either make it more looping and branching topology, but there are also these linear topologies. And then there's the one point topology that says there's nowhere to go. You're already there. No journey, no one-dimensional path between points. You're already there. But a lot of traditional ones say you go from point A to B to C to D, and then you're done. So I use a looping and branching. So it's algorithmic, but there are certainly general patterns that people go through. So so teachers that emphasize what appears to be a linear model, which usually, if you ask them pointedly, they'll say, well, no, it's not really that, but then they're just used to using that. So their students end up in perhaps comparison city, because it sort of looks like the same thing you have in a company or in the military or in sexual mating hierarchies or dominance hierarchies. It's like, I got to get my black belt here. Right. That can be a good thing or a bad thing, depending. Where it becomes intellectually a bad thing is when you seriously think that's exactly the way it works, and that it is possible to grade people. And you have to study with a teacher who has been graded to B, which then could mean anyone that says anything else who could be incomparably deeper than your teacher, who's just saying the thing that is supposedly the test of reality, right? So that can be problematic. So if you want to think in terms of stages, as opposed to, reticulations, then I don't have a test to prove you're liberated. I have a test to prove you're not liberated. I absolutely have a test to prove you're. Now, I'm not saying liberation is all there is to the path. I'm not saying the path is all there is to life. I'm just saying there is something called freedom from the limited identity of body and mind and self and world. There is that dimension to this practice. And I can tell you, if you don't, I can prove you don't have it. By the it, I mean, so we're assuming there's an end, and it's called complete freedom from body-mind identification. And let's say that corresponds to what in the tradition is called being an arhat, just for hypothesis. I have no way of knowing if you're an arhat. But I do have a way to know if you're not an arhat. Have you transcended the body and mind? So we put you in a box, maintain you on life support. You don't see anything, you don't hear anything. You just feel being in the box. Your bowels and nutrition is all taken care of. You have your mind, and that's how you're going to spend the rest of your life. And if the rest of your life is 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, that's it. How does that seem to you?
So basically, Steve on his boat.
Huh? Say what?
I said, so basically Steve on his boat right now.
Steve on his boat?
He's in a little box all the time. I'm kidding.
That's a big box. I'm talking about a really little box.
Right, no books allowed box for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. And then if that's okay for you, then we're going to add various pain stimuli and sounds and horrible sights for the duration. Is that okay? Devise the most fiendish torture you can imagine, carried on for as long as you can possibly imagine. Do for real, I sort of think, you know what, I wouldn't like it, but yeah, that's okay. I can, if it either means you're free or it doesn't. I'm going to take it to mean you're really free. You're ready for the pair of pliers and blowtorch and someone getting medieval on your ass. You're ready for that. You're going to love them. You're not going to look upon that as something impossible to deal with. If you can't do that, you're not liberated. I'm not claiming to be fully liberated, obviously. So anyway, why? Because it's body, like you say. It's not just a training that your mind has an understanding. It has to go down to the cellular level. You have to be able to just sit there for a week with nothing and be awake and deal with the consequences, and that be easy as it is to sit for 5 minutes. And that has to go down into the body now, doesn't it? One way or another. The other thing I would say about body is, remember, body entails mental image of body, and perhaps also mental talk about body, but definitely image. If you use the sweeping technique and you get like complete dissolution of the body, really, really deep, like everything is just like a French pointillist painting in terms of body sensation. Because you know the Ubakin tradition would very much agree with you. They would say, that's why we sweep the body, because got to get down to that level. But they would say ignore mental images. I would disagree, because you can have a profound dissolution of the body, but still be subtly fixating a mental image. I'm sorry, a profound dissolution of body sensation, physical and emotional, can all break up into shimmery, scintillating mist.
And this
But
is my next, sorry, go
you
on.
are holding a subliminal fixated mental image that you may not even be fully aware of the body. If that's also not breaking up into scintillating mist, you're not going to, quote, transcend the body. If you want to transcend time and space, you have to deal with the subtle mental images associated with I'm here now. Say you're incarcerated. How do you know you're in prison besides the sight, sound, touch of the prison? Close your eyes, mod that out, you've got a mental picture of I'm here, and you've got body emotion. You have to complete both of those to be able to leave a prison in consciousness on demand. If you can't work with the images that are coagulated and perhaps somewhat subliminal, then you'll always think I'm in this time, I'm in this place. So that's a few responses to what you said.